Welcome back to Fortune Cookies. In this video, we're still talking about politics, and we're going to talk about this crazy team that Trump is surrounding himself with. So we're going to see if they're going to wind up in his cabinet. We're going to see if they're going to help or hurt his campaign. And we're just going to take a look at their intentions. So I'll be right back. Welcome back, Tarot fam. I'm Annabelle. I'm a tarot practitioner for over 35 years. I love politics. I especially love U.S. politics. And in this video, we are going to look at these individuals that have been surrounding Trump. We're going to start off with Vivek Ramaswamy. I did not love him as a candidate. I thought he was very bright, very interesting. I thought he was perhaps going to wind up being the vice president pick for Trump. Surprised that he was not. There were a couple of things that he said were a little misogynistic. I'm just going to say that. I'm not fully in his favor, but I do think that he's going to present a very interesting individual to have on the Trump team. So let's take a look at some cards. As always, thank you so much for being here. You can book your own magical reading with me at the link below. You can also attend my digital academy. I have a free 3-day tarot course, a Lenormand course, and coming soon, I have my Tarot 101 course, which is going to be super comprehensive and give you a really amazing structure for being able to read cards. So I hope to see some of you in that class. So let's take a look at Vivek. So let's get a baseline on this guy first. So Vivek, what is he all about here? What is he all about? True blue? Well, actually, he's true red because he's one of those conservative types. But let's see what he's all about. And I switched up the deck so we get less shine here. Queen of Pentacles. This is not being in the cabinet, being in Trump's coterie is not really what he wanted. He really is looking for another way. He will suck it up and hang out with him if there's going to be a good end result. High Priestess. He doesn't agree with everything that's going on, but he will cooperate. He will negotiate and work with it. He's got a lot of ideas, but he does want that top spot. He does want to be the rock star in this situation. So let's see. Are we going to see him in a Trump administration? We're shuffling away, guys. I got this crazy big deck. Lots of people love this crazy big deck. It's ginormous. So do we see him in Trump's administration? Do we get a Vivek? Now that's interesting. So if we're talking about cabinet, I don't know if he winds up in the cabinet. I think he winds up being something else because we're trying to set up a foundation for I think Trump may ask him to stand down for a little bit. So I don't think we're going to see Vivek right away. I think there's going to be some distance put between the two of them. Why is that? I think because they were adversaries, even though Vivek is being very, very supportive of him, Trump is very supportive of Vivek and has said a lot about how intelligent he is, how much he has to contribute. I do think that there's going to be some distance put between them. Are they getting along wildly good right now? Absolutely. Eventually, we will see him brought in. It's going to take a little bit of time. So, and again, this, I think we have to be elected before we get any commitment for this. Once we do get there, if we do get elected, then we see a handout. But still, he's not going to work necessarily with Trump, but around Trump, if that makes sense. So, that's really what I see going on here. So that'll be curious. That'll be curious. There's something that he's going to be put in charge of. And I'm not getting a real clear view on what it is, but he's going to be put in charge of something. So now let's talk about RFK Jr., not the old RFK. So RFK Jr. has essentially defected from the Democratic Party because he was not being treated well by them. He is also defected from part of his family. We have a whole situation with one of his sisters that is not really good. She's kind of talking some smack and he's kind of distancing himself. What are we going to see with RFK Jr. and Trump? He's willing to stand down. He is willing to let his legacy be a supporting role. He's willing to do that. He wants to get to work. And I think his assertions are legitimate. I think he really does want to work in like the Department of Health, the Food and Drug Administration. I think he really does want to do that. He wants to make corrections there. This is where his work lies, not necessarily in the environment or anything like that, but in the health, that MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. I think that's really his goal there. Do we get that? I think people are going to bristle at some of his radical ideas and his emotional quality about it. So he feels very, very strongly about the situation at hand with food preservatives, additives, all of that stuff. I think he really is going to, this is a fight that we haven't seen. This is an uncommon fight that nobody's really aware of, like no one's really been standing up and shouting about this. So it's kind of a new thing. Do we get a next generation out of him? Do we get a next generation out of him? I think we do. I think he passes the torch on to another individual. And I think that individual is much, much younger. Is it a Kennedy? Possibly. Is it a problematic? Do we run into this situation that we have with Kennedys all the time, that the people that love them love them, and the people that hate them are trying to take them down? So, I think this is a torch that gets passed to a much younger person, like a very, very young person. So, we raise up this, and I've always said the Kennedys are very precociously political as youngsters because of the family brand, the family name, and the family's dedication to leadership in the United States. It's just, that's where they are. That's what they do. So we really do see another generation kind of taking this up. So we're planting the seeds in this particular Kennedy character in RFK Jr., but we're planting those seeds for another kid to take up. I'll take a look in another video at his kids and see which one of them is going to take up this mantle. So we may see that. Let's talk about Elon. We got to talk about Elon. I know I'm leaving somebody out too. I'm not going to talk about JD Vance. He gets his own video. But I'm leaving somebody out here. I can't recall who it is. So, but we are going to talk about Elon Musk right now. Elon Musk. And we had that tremendous interview that they did together on X. And Elon said, you should have an efficiency committee that gets on there, and it's just citizens who talk about the efficiency. Elon Musk cannot run for president. I don't know if he has limitations for other offices and appointments because he is foreign born. He is a South African born individual. I believe it's South African. It might be Zimbabwe, but I think it's South Africa. You can correct me in the comments below. But let's see what's going on with Elon. Elon, I think his money is something that gets in the way. But his ideas are fantastic. So, part of the problem that we have with Elon is that when you have so much money, and there's a lot of opinions about it, Elon has stolen ideas and he's just kind of rebranded them. And he's just the guy that brands the idea. He's not shy about smoking or doing any of these other recreational items, and does say, kind of opens things up. I think we run into the problem of people not really believing the genius that is Elon Musk. So does he become a less reliable source of intelligence and ideas? Yeah, he does. But he's still this great brand for people to latch on to. So, Elon Musk farts and everybody knows about it. I had to say he does very, very interesting things. I mean, we did see this even with the situation in Ukraine when things were popping off in Ukraine. Initially, they had some issues with their Wi-Fi and their internet connection, and we got a single line. Starlink is now active over Ukraine. He basically gave them all internet access, so that things could keep going there. So, is that a good thing? Yes, likable guy. He does some cool things every now and then. But is he a radical guy? Yes, he's very radical. And I think the money gets in the way because people say, oh, he's an evil genius. He's Lex Luthor, with hair. He's still got hair. The whole thing with his progeny, a lot of people have issues with that. He's got several women who have had many, many children for him. I think that is looked upon as out of bounds, not something that you and I would do, not something that you and I could do without the billions and billions of dollars that he has. So I did say billions and billions. So, and there's always that Amber Heard situation. I didn't like him because of the Amber Heard thing. I think that baby is his, but it's just my opinion. So anyway, Elon Musk becomes the dreamer of this Trump coalition. Let's call it that, this Trump coalition. I got to take this bottom card. So does he have an official role? If he's on this commission, I think he is on it, this efficiency commission. I think he is on it in a very casual sense. I think his businesses require a lot of his attention. I think he will present some grand ideas when asked, when tasked. And then we'll kind of pop in and have a conversation with everyone and say, well, if I were handling this, I would do things this way. I love the way he talks. Then we should do this way. I would hate to Elon Musk is somebody I would like to have lunch with, but I would be terrified because I think he would tell me I'm running everything in my life the wrong way. But adorable. I would love to, sit down. I would eat fish with him. I don't like fish. I would eat fish with him. So, this is a very curious kind of relationship. I don't feel that he's all in terms of logistics and time, but I feel he's all in the heart. So fun team member. I don't know if I talked about Tulsi. Did I talk about Tulsi? Let's talk about Tulsi. Knew I was forgetting somebody. Let's talk about Tulsi. Tulsi Gabbard. I love that girl. As with all politicians, there's a few holes in the armor, so to speak. But are we going to see her in this Trump administration? We have speed. We get her. I think she is humming. Yeah, she's going to be in there. She's going to be working with this administration. And when we get that justice in reverse, right now, the current administration has her on a watch list for when she flies, because they're saying that she's a DT, not Donald Trump, but domestic T. So this, I think, becomes a very, very serious issue that she is going to have some things to say about. And she is going to have some dominion over this. Oh my goodness, is she ever. Trump is going to unleash the Tulsi Kraken. Wow. wow, she is going to tear down this misuse of power. She is going to be in charge of that. I don't know what role that is. I don't know if this is an entirely new role, but she is going to be in charge of the misuse of power and stopping that, diffusing that power back to the people. Wild stuff. Love Tulsi Gabbard. Love that gal. Love her. Love her streak. Love her hair. Love her voice. Love everything about her. Whoop, almost dropped a card. Let's talk, before we wrap this up, about the Zuck. So the Zuck had a lot to say. I'm just going to pull myself up here just so you have a little bit of a better view. Give your eyes a break. So the Zuck, Mark Zuckerberg, had written a letter to Jim Jordan about the events that happened in the last election and what their actions were. And he gave some reason for the actions that Meta, Facebook, Instagram had taken. He also spoke in very glowing terms of Donald Trump after the July 13th event. I will never forget that date because it's the day after my birthday. So it really is the day after my birthday. Let me have a sip of this. So he was in awe of the behavior of Trump immediately after those events on July 13th. Donald Trump has now said, I really question, what the amount of responsibility is for someone who allowed all of this removal of information and tamping down of information. He has suggested that maybe somebody like that needs to do some jail time. So let's see if we're going to have the Zuck show up on this dream team. So we'll pull up the card view, split my cards. I always do Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. The Zuck. I think we are going to see some issues with the Zuck. That looks like a little bit of a struggle there. I don't think Trump's going to have him on his team. I don't think he's going to welcome him into the fold. There's really no place for him. His judgment has shown. Oh, judgment. There's a judgment card. Wow, look at that. His judgment was skewed in that situation, even though he says in the letter, we, felt a certain way about the request to tamp down some of that information. We felt a certain way. He should have responded differently. And the Star, I do think we're going to see some things for the Zuck. I think we're going to see the Zuck being held responsible for something. So no dream team for him. He is not going to be on the dream team. I kind of was thinking maybe, I don't know. I guess you don't need any more than one internet, super genius on there. Not that I don't think Zuck is a super genius, but Elon I do think is a super genius. So I think, there's only room for one, but I'm a little worried about the Zuck now. So Zuck, good luck. So with that, we are going to move ahead. We'll take a quick look at JD Vance. We'll take a quick look at Mike Walls and how that, or Tim, I don't even know his name. We're going to look at those two and see how they are going to do. Should they debate each other? I don't think that we have a debate date for them. So I'll check that out in between the videos, and I will see you in the future. Thanks so much for watching.